called off. The manager above her tried to say, well, you have to work now 17 hours today. And she was like, no, the frick, I don't. And so she walked out. Like, she was like, I'm leaving. I'm not staying. Like, this is not my fault. If people fall through, it comes back to you because you're the one above me, you know?
Right.
So anyways, Millie was like, I'm ready. Here's my 2 weeks then. Like, I'm not doing this. So the owner comes in.
Snap. I just realized
figures out what's going on.
The whisper chat.
And his
channel.
Nina got dragged in there. I was fully eavesdropping on O's conversation, by the way.
Off the back. Said he's willing to give Millie a raise that she deserves. How much do you want? And she said, let me think about it. Millie said, I'll just ask for $2 extra an hour.
$2 extra an hour? Millie, what is wrong with you?
You do not do.
No, you need to find out the average wage of people at that position with your experience, and then shoot 5%.
She was saying all that in one breath. That's actually pretty impressive.
Squeeze him.
That was muted. Oh, okay.
I forgot to mute, and then I realized you were listening, so I just unmuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you muted for like 2 seconds during that, and then was like, screw it.
Your wife's lung capacity is fucking insane.
She's a singer.
Ah.
Bravo.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. She said all that stuff in one breath.
Yeah, she typically does.
What does this even mean?
That's why I mute for a while sometimes.
You're just gone for like 5 minutes, and breath number 1's done.
That's my wife is awful. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just gonna say my wife has awful lung capacity, but she compensates for it by speaking a lot of words per minute.
So my wife is the perfect example of long story longer. Like you will get the full picture.
Every detail. It's like Garth giving a recap.
Oh man, it's long. It's so long. It's casual shit. It's impressive, really. I'm like, woman, what is the point of the story? And I won't know until season 2. I think that's gonna be a dope token.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Okay, let me copy. Do that layer. I'll cut it. It's for character.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, normally I make, token map tokens, but this time I'm making character tokens, so.
You're a son of a bitch.
Well, it's a character, not a monster, right? It's a character, not a monster.
I'm glad you found that.
The thing is, I don't see most of your map tokens because you don't switch to them.
Hear that silence? That's your joke. That's where it belongs. It gets silent.
You're just not laughing because you're angry.
I'm still so sad.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not angry. I'm just sad.
It is very unfortunate.
So.
And again, somehow it is Garth's fault.
I feel like I agree with this.
He
I
was
don't
there.
know why, but I'm going to shift this blame off onto someone else. That sounds. Yeah. Dang it, Garth! So anyways, you want to see the first part of this token while it's in the workshop?
Yeah, sure.
Nope, that's game general. I'll do it in actual general.
Yeah. Oh! That's a good helmet. I like that fucking mohawk.
Yeah, it's really good, right?
Yeah.
Just gotta cover up these fleshy bits.
Yeah. Hide that arm, those hands.
We'll do that here. Show some modesty, you heathen.
Yeah, he's gonna lose a finger like that.
He's gonna get infected.
Tetanus.
Yeah, Alec.
That is so scary.
Reminds me of that fish guy from Hellboy.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. I see it. Yeah. Good old fish guy.
That is kind of creepy.
Don't stare too long into its eyes; it'll stare back.
I was actually staring at it for so long.
Now you're seeing.
I was like,
Uh-oh, now it's seen you. Uh-oh. Whoops.
I have to acknowledge
Oopsie.
some
Suddenly you're in analog horror.
Lock your doors.
watch me get haunted tonight.
by the queen.
Ugh.
Also, I just realized it's crying. What a coward. Weak. I could beat this mask in a fight.
Perfect.
Could you though?
What? Now I'm starting to doubt myself.
That's the point.
Wow.
Yeah, literally.
Holy shit.
Secrets.
Welcome back, everyone.
Heyo.
Secrets as habits.
Hey, welcome back, Crash.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Take an inspiration, buddy.
Oh God.
Deuce.
I hate all
Need
of
not.
you.
To need not.
What'd I do?
And Kirsty.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Just so everyone knows,
New character.
you guys decide that quest line. Or storyline, rather. Have fun. Moving on.
Oh, come on.
Also, to Deet about reading lips, there is a whole
Oh.
feat just to read lips. So you're not reading anyone's lips unless you have that.
No, it was just a joke.
Roger, Roger. I don't have the context when I'm in a different channel. Anyways,
Okay,
Let's-
I'm gonna. Sorry, can I quickly just run to the bathroom? I'm absolutely desperate.
you fucking. No, it's gonna go.
I'm sorry. I drank a whole bowl of water. I'm so...
How fucking
What
dare you?
issue?
Drink a whole.
I fucking hate all of you. Goodbye.
Oh.
Say goodbye, accent.
That's not even close.
This person's
funny.
making fun of you.
Because we're making a gross generalization and caricature. Anyways, let's see here. Let's kick it over to.
On a Tuesday.
Let's kick it over to Oriana. I see you're next to the exemplar.
She was over there.
You do not have his name. Remember that.
Neat. Yeah, this was probably like while they were talking to Abigail. She would have headed over there. That's the right word. Yeah, she would have taken the Banner Brothers and like folded up like the I can't remember the labelization, but you know when you have like an American flag that's like a triangle, whatever that fold is called.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the term for it.
You were shockingly one of the two people I thought would actually know that. I'm surprised you don't.
No, because I don't care about the funeral part because I don't lose.
I mean,
USA. Anyways,
she's gonna fold up the banner like that and head over to Exemplar, which She doesn't know his name, but she knows it's not Lambert because he at least confirmed that from Redane asking, I believe.
He shook his head, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you aren't Lambert. Will you be, strange terminology, will you be in contact with him anytime soonish?
It stares at you.
Yeah, she's just gonna hold out the thing then. Would you be able to get this to him? I'm not sure if you could, but thought I would ask.
It looks down at it, looks back to you, and shakes its head. Very slowly.
Well, what happened? Because something weird happened, and I have no idea what it was.
You hear it speak. Do you really want to know? As it speaks, its voice echoes, and it gives your head a slight headache.
Ooh, psychic damage. Well, not psychic damage, something else.
Only for as long as it's speaking.
Yeah, she responds with yes. Takes a moment, takes a deep breath, and says yes.
I'm back.
Hi.
Then bend your knee.
Fine, yeah, she does that. She just
Pulls out a sword and stabs you.
Yes.
pain.
Oh shit, he did.
Go look in your flaw section.
Yeah, Crash. I did notice that.
Increase it to 1 out of
Oh, that's
6.
fun.
You idiot.
So, to those of you that haven't spied it, look in your flaw section. I know a number of you have messaged me being like, Crash, what's this? I'll make it perfectly clear to you. Remember how Captain Amai said you're not ready for the truth?
Oh.
There are certain details you guys aren't ready for. Every time you get one of those informations, those secrets that you're not ready to know, your body can take it, sure. To a certain limit. 6. At 6. Your character is no longer your character. No past go. No nothing. At 6 Twisted Awakenings, your character's gone. Not necessarily dead, but you're not playing them anymore.
Eh.
There will be ways to reduce your Twisted Awakenings. I won't describe how common they will be, though. Until then, you sit with them. You want to know what happened to Lambert? I'll tell you. Clean and simple. In fact, here. Let's go.
I don't know why this is gonna be in whispers because there's gonna be a VOD of it.
That's fine. Not everyone watches VOD. Lambert's gone because you guys voted. You guys wrote him out of your story. Simple as that. He can physically be here. That is fair game. He can be here. He just does not to.
How does that, like, from Orion's perspective, how does that work? How the...
You feel an immense sense of dread that through whatever actions that you half embarked upon, you're the reason why he's gone. So I guess there's a sense of guilt and regret. And it is simply a matter that Lambert is honoring your wishes that you yourself never, as Oriana said. But you know in your heart of hearts that he is doing that. Actually, I don't think it's fair for you to take a Twisted Awakening just so soon. Reduce that back down to 0.
And tell no one. Anyways.
I mean, you should probably tell them, so that way people are aware of it.
That's just a fun bit of confusion for her. It's like, what the fuck do you mean we made a choice? We didn't pick that.
You guys as players made the choice.
Yeah.
Yep. So, that's just the sort of short and simple truth of it. He's gone not by actions of your characters. But your characters are still left with a sense of regret about it. Any questions?
Not that I know of right now.
Fair enough. Let's go back.
Lose our character if we get too much of these points.
Which Oriana doesn't have one now. Crash decided that didn't actually...
You can be tutorial person that doesn't
Waffler.
eat shit.
Crash waffled.
Wow.
Yeah, I waffled. I don't know what that means.
So, if we
Means you have
get
holes in you.
maxed out on the Twisted Awakening, then
Your character's gone out of your control. That means they're either dead, annihilated into nothingness. I play them now as an NPC. Something. I don't know. Depends on the context by which you guys acquire your Twisted Awakenings.
Alright, Twisted Awakening point getting speedrun. Let's go.
I mean, it shouldn't be too hard.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Just shake the exemplar and be like, where is he?
Alexander starts sprinting back, like, hey, so what happened to you?
So, Oriana, you are stabbed through and lifted up in a manner similar to the Enlightened Grandmaster, now I think about it. Lifted up as this exemplar knight holds up this, like, 8-foot long sword of one hand as if it's like a rapier. And you are out of it. Not in the sense of, like, you're dead. Like, you are having a very out-of-body experience as this nightmarish energy sieves out of him and flies to you, and you are given the truth as described to you in the Whispers chat. As, you know, that takes place over like 4 seconds. Eventually, after those 4 seconds, he lowers his blade back onto the ground to the point where you're able to stand on your own feet, and then just pulls it out of you. Just one, like ripping off the band-aid. No blood, no exit wound, no entry wound. By all accounts, it's as if nothing happened.
Either clothes are damaged, just everything's fine.
Nope. Everything's fine. And then he just puts his sword back on his back.
I think she just kind of stands there, like, looking at her hand. Like, she just kind of grabs at where she was stabbed, realizes there's nothing, and just looks at her hands for a second. Just like,
You also get his name. I'll give you that too.
ah, cool.
Your truth imparted unto you by Sir Nordvig.
What?
I think Kasai would probably be over here right now.
Real quick.
What was that?
Oh, sweet, a Mario. Sorry. I asked what happened to Lambert, and think I got an answer.
What happened to him?
We chose to not have him with us.
What?
She just kind of she's just frazzled more than any time in her entire life that you've seen her. Just like, it's not an exaggeration. We chose to have him out of our story. And he's abiding by our choices.
She looks from you over to the exemplar. As if the exemplar will be so confident and generous as to go deeper in on that information, but she is met with shadowy stew and silence.
I don't think we should pry further than that. I don't know. Just kind of like rubs her eyes. I don't know. What is happening?
She puts a hand on, like, underneath, like, your arm, like, sort of towards the armpit area, and, like, hefts you away. You should stay away from him. For the time being. So much fun.
It has a name, by the way. If for some reason you want to talk to us.
What is its name?
Sir Nordwick. Does anything happen when she says his name, by chance?
Nope.
Okay. Nothing weirdly special on that one. Okay.
Anyone proficient in history?
Am I?
I don't fucking know.
Am
There's
I?
a small
I'm
chance
damn
I
it!
might be.
Alexander
I am.
is, but he's not here, so he doesn't count.
To the beach. I'm not.
I am,
like
and I'm also not too
Kensai
far.
Dai.
If you're proficient in it, roll it up at disadvantage.
Silas, roll the thing. Right,
Give me a second. I have to look up.
God damn it.
Not that bad.
I mean, like it's 14. That's not terrible.
I mean, considering a 3, yeah.
Alright, so moving on. Let's switch gears to Alessandra. So, Alessander, you are walking over with Captain Nikolash to a perimeter secure tented or cloth walled off area where the captives are being held. To put some mental imagery in your head, these people are in various states of destitution and malnourishment. I'm not saying it's the full degree of a World War II time concentration camp. No. But you're halfway there.
Gotcha.
Poor.
So these people are in states of critical health, depending on how the next 24 hours fares for them. Which is why the Seekers are on deck, keeping tabs on all of them, not only to monitor their health, but also in case they even harbor any otherworldly suspicion.
Gotcha. Seekers, so just that quick look around. Do I see Rickard here?
Amongst this number, no.
Okay.
No. You are brought into the place. It's not just Seekers here. There are some Slayers set for, so to speak, perimeter detail here. But it's predominantly Seekers. Captain Nikolash ushers you past a impromptu rest ward, medical ward area. Not ICU or anything. Tango's attacking my arm. Can you fucking stop? Thank you. Now!
For the cat.
I do the thing I always do. I make my hand to a face hugger and then latch onto his face. Yeah! It sometimes works, other times it gets him to attack me further, and that's what's happening. Anyways, I'm gonna ignore him. So, you are walked past deeper into the medical area, and Captain Nikolash, holds open a coffin just for you to go inside to this, what would constitute a hallway in this place, which has some some actual, cots, the stuff you bring camping, crossbars and wound-on cloths and stuff like that stretched out. And you can see that there are only 3 people in this ward. One of them has, a Slayer combo, a duo, next to them, looking and talking with them in their vague capacity to speak back. And before you ask, yes, one of those Slayers is Mallory.
Okay.
The other one, the first one is bandaged the fuck up. So, in terms of quote proximity, there's one to your hard left, he's bandaged the fuck up. Like Joshua Graham style.
Hell yeah, he's cool.
Middle right is the duo of the Slayers. Far left of this hallway is the one that Captain Nikolash directs you to. That one over there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that they are unconscious currently. And even at a distance, you could tell that, they're not in the best state of health and repair, but they are considerably better than some of the other people you've passed by on the way here.
Mm-hmm. Well, he will bead line towards them as quick as his tired legs will take him.
You hurry over there. You look down. They're sort of bandaged up. They're like sort of like stirring left and right, back and forth. You recognize, to a certain degree, this person here. This is Private Benson Early.
Private Benson Kearley.
Or whatever the bottom rung of your organization is. I don't necessarily that's
Private.
Private or cadets or whatever.
Recruit Malvern. No. So it's like there's officers and there's just like the regular enlistees.
Yeah. Vincent he's fresh blood. He's new.
Yeah.
This is maybe his first major mission. He had done some recon scouting stuff for the Silversworn. Nothing that puts him in particularly overt danger, not deep land reconnaissance, but just forward scouting. So this was the first major op that he was allowed to be a part of.
Right. And look how it went. Where's Nikolash?
Nikolash is sort of standing in the middle of the room, just sort of looking around at everyone. He's giving you like a healthy breath of privacy.
Good.
Well, for as private as you could be in an open air medical wing area.
And looking the private over, and trying to gauge his wounds, how well of a recovery does it look he'll make?
Roll my medicine check.
Okay.
Actually, before you roll, how often would Alessander, given his rapport or non-rapport with his troops, would he have visited people in the medical ward after post-mission?
More often than other captains, so...
Then take advantage.
Okay.
This is, quote-unquote, a familiar territory.
Mm-hmm.
Not a favorite terrain, but a known terrain. I didn't even need anyone.
16.
You have to lift up his blanket a bit to get like a proper look at his torso and stuff like that. His legs are heavily trodden upon, not necessarily broken or shattered or anything like that, but more of a like, someone just sort of walked over them and they were heavy. So heavy bruising here and there, maybe a fracture in the bone. In terms of his torso, you can tell that there is a wicked slash mark across his torso. Quint set 5 slashes across that rake across his body, and even now you can even though it's probably been a while since your company was ambushed, you can still see that they're still bleeding because probably not treated right. He might have a concussion given how enwrapped his head is, maybe, from what you can see. As Captain Nikolash described, his ankles and his wrists have immense scratches and chafing from being bound and so on. Yeah. And he does look, again, as you saw when coming in, he does look a bit malnourished. At the very least, dehydrated.
He seems to be here in some professional capacity. So Alessander will look over his shoulder and wave Nikolash over.
He sees you and approaches.
I presume the private here will be taken to the cradle when we get back to Dubros.
Perhaps not. That is the prerogative of the Seekers and Slayers, not myself.
Very well. I shall have to have a word with perhaps Captain Rickard. I do have some I wish to talk to him about. Do you know where he is?
Last I heard, Captain Rickard was doing a sweep of the island. He should be checking back in on the Seeker forward outpost soon, I imagine. And just so you know, he gestures at the private. He is killing them any otherworldly influence.
I thank you for telling me. If he awakens, do come find me. Or send someone to come find me. And if you cross paths with Rika, tell him that I'm looking for him.
He nods.
Thank you.
Oh, before you go.
Go on.
He goes over to like one of the... It's not really like a table or a nightstand next to the cot, because like they didn't bring an entire piece of furniture just for people. But it's like this small little like it's almost like a stump or like a really big log that was just sort of left there, you know, for people to sit or put stuff on. He goes over to it, and there's like this small little thing wrapped up in like some gauze, essentially, and picks it up and hands it over to you.
What is this?
This was one of the only things he kept on him. You don't want to know where it was.
What in the goddamn does that mean?
He holds it out. He pushes it even further out towards you. Like, go on, take it.
Go ahead and take it.
Do you sniff it?
No.
Okay.
You said it's like wrapped up in gauze.
Yeah. It just sort of like sort of like a mummy, just sort of.
Yeah. Could he like kind of tactically unravel it to see what the hell it is?
Yeah, you begin pulling it down from the top. You know, sort of like undoing a candy bar wrapper. It's a silver sworn emblem.
Ah. And you said I don't want to know what this was?
He doesn't say anything in response to that.
I shall endeavor to clean it for the private then. It should return to its owner. And with a nod, he will wrap it back up and take his leave.
Captain Nikolaj walks out of the area with you, but he does, whereas you have to make a left to go back the way you came in, he makes a right.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good evening, Captain, as well.
You as well, Captain Nikolaj.
He nods. You begin leaving, and you go through like the cloth, the tarp front, you know, sort of like, you know, two hanging curtains that you had to like push through to like a tent to leave. And as you leave, Blair is like hanging out next to, like right next to the fucking entrance, like leaned against the wall, the tree that it's situated from. Going back.
He merely stops. I had intended to. Back to the others. Well, I'm in no condition to stop you.
Good. Let's go. Roll me an insight check.
I was just about to ask. Alright.
If you get a nat one, I'm gonna go.
So anyways, what were you gonna say?
Do?
What are you gonna
Oh my god!
Cackle?
Oh my god!
What were you gonna
So
do?
about that.
I'll laugh in your face is what I was gonna do, and I'm doing it!
I got M1.
So completely oblivious to
Everything about it.
however she's feeling. He was gonna ask her anyway. How are you faring after the fight, Cat?
I think I have some acid burns and a lot of cut marks on my arms. But she reaches into one of her pouches and pulls out this, like, fang or, like, tip of something. But I got my prize.
Is that from that?
Spider bitch.
I was gonna put it in more polite terms, but then again, she don't really deserve it, does she? Did she?
No,
Correct
she
myself.
didn't. What are your guys'
Well,
next plans?
I think that is up for them to divulge.
Let's get to it.
Let's. And then he starts living faster, and he says, "I don't suppose you would lend me a shoulder."
She puts a hand on your like upper arm, like towards the shoulder area, and heals you. In a manner
Kicks
very
in the other knee.
in a manner very similar to like how Sajar did it.
Hell yeah.
Better.
Are you familiar with the term deja vu? Never mind. Let's go. And thank you.
Whatever.
Should just hit you with one of these.
So you guys walk back. In the meantime, anyone else is trying to do anything here at the bonfire?
Welcome to Kasai.
You go to Kasai. This is after Oriana had been penetrated.
Why? Why? Though? Why must he say this?
Oh, Alec knows. The art that this knight is from. He's called the Penetrator. He's a Demon Souls boss.
I hate existence. I hate.
And he penetrates you.
everything.
He penetrates. Yeah, he totally does.
It's okay.
He's also like 12 feet tall.
At least it wasn't the Vor Knight, Garth.
You mean the gaping dragon?
Guess I do, yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Redan, you go over to Kasai, and she's like still looking intensely at the exemplar.
Kasai.
What?
Just
She's a bit
look at
on
it. What's
edge.
her general? Okay, good. We didn't choose to write him out of this store.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either, but I know it didn't happen.
She looks at the exemplar even more intensely somehow than she was before, and then begins slowly shaking her head. I do not believe it to be lying. I just want to know why that is the way. If we are not lying, and it is not lying, how is that?
Looks over to her, and then back to that thing. Nothing makes sense anymore.
She nods at that, finally turning her gaze away from the exemplar and looking at the ground, sort of forlornly. That is very true.
Just looks at her. Insight. Well, what's her disposition? She's looking at the ground.
What's up?
Hey, that's a 9.
It's okay, because I'm not a particularly deceptive person or anything like that. She's looking down at the ground in not in a sense of defeat, but in a sense of this is life. This is my life now. Like a begrudging sense of acceptance. Like, yep, nothing makes sense anymore. That's just how it is.
Just head up, Kasai. We don't get to feel sorry for ourselves.
Looking like proper Ligratus. She stands a bit more upright and I guess at attention, so to speak. And turns fully turns away from the exemplar and towards you. Are we going back? To there. And she throws her head at the exemplar.
I'm sure that's inevitable at this point.
Then let us be ready when we do go back.
Good. Then we shall. And as he turns to walk away and just turns back to her, don't you get any ideas about doing what Lambert did?
Roll inside.
Oh! The duality of rolls! Add it to the list. Yeah, there it is, baby.
She nods as you say that over to her, but as you're turning away, her eyes immediately flicker off and away from you. it wasn't a main thought in her mind, but it was one that she was thinking through. If nothing else, from a sense of trying to understand where Lambert was coming from.
Right. Yeah,
It's not an
that makes
avenue that
sense.
she is trying to pursue at current, but it is an avenue that is in her tool set, so to speak. So, and the rest of y'all doing anything?
I want to catch Redane real quick.
You catch Redane real quick as he's walking away from Kasai.
Redane, a moment.
As I did, have you ever seen Raiden from Mortal Kombat? How he does his charge across screen and hits you in the stomach.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
what I pictured.
That conversation with Abigail earlier, do you remember what I told you about the wind?
What exactly?
I called you Windmaker.
I do remember.
The conversation with Abigail made me think of something that happened to me many years ago. I was making my way home from a dig and got swept up in a sudden sandstorm. So I did what most of us do. I hunkered down and under my cloak and waited. And once it had passed and I reemerged, I was somewhere else. I was no longer where I had been just moments before. I had no idea of where. If I was halfway across the peninsula or somewhere else entirely, I'm not sure. But because I was heading home, I had food but no water. So I walked, headed west as best I could. Days, weeks, desperate. I did the one thing that you should never do, and I tried to hurry, because I know I was running out of water. I was going to die. I was very far from any rocky terrain that I at least sense or see. It was a matter of time before I would slip. You know, Alharax is demanding even when you're clear of thought. But as luck would have it, in the dawning light, just before the heat comes in, I was found by someone. There's a man. I don't know if you know about these Bedouin. He was clad in vibrant blues and pale tans, sitting at the very crest of a dune. So I walked up to him. My memory's a little fuzzy, so I can't really picture his face. But he gave me some water and stood up and beckoned for me to follow. I did. He didn't speak at all for the first 2 days or 2 nights. But on the third night he finally did, and this is where I have a bit of a memory gap, but he said, "The wind only dances with grains of dust. To truly move, the sand must shift beneath your feet." I have never understood what that meant. What do you think?
I said, He just thinks on it for a second before responding. Do you think Lambert needed to go?
I think he felt like he had to. He, like I think we both have this habit of trying to shoulder the kind of pain we understand well and know we can carry. Because that's the only certainty. I think it can be dealt with. Because if somebody else would carry that burden, carry that pain, you'd sink into the dust. Kind of grain of sand on the wind.
You'd tell me if you felt that way, right?
Yes, I would.
Just looks down. No matter how long we've known each other, I never know where I stand with you truly.
That's because you never ask.
Looks up like, oh my god, he's right.
You solved the puzzle.
My father, there's a poet he enjoys. He's not much for poetry normally, but he would often recite a particular one to me. I think it goes something like, if my breath had wings, I would ask my heart to speak into the wind. For what other way is there to say what can only be said without words? The deeper meaning here, Redane, is that I trust you, whether that's here nor there, I don't care. I see you as a valued friend, a brother, confidant. I trust your judgment, I trust your leadership. I trust you to tell me when I'm being a jackass and when I'm being a fool. If that makes me the sand underneath your feet or you mine, I think time will tell.
Just thinks, and I feel like this is something he often does, particularly when he talks to Sajar, because he never knows how to interpret everything he says.
There.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep a cork on that bottle of yours for the rest of your life, it's going to shatter eventually. You need to talk to someone, even if that someone is yourself.